If the Mets were in it, I'd be yelling and screaming that they need to go get Skubal and whatever it takes to get him away from the Dodgers. They're not in it. So now I'm saying the same thing for the Yankees. Like, what are the Yankees doing? They are making a huge mistake by not being in on this. Not only by not getting him, if he goes to the Dodgers, how can you sit here with a straight face and say that the Yankees could beat the Dodgers in the postseason, assuming that they face them in the World Series?
I mean, in some ways, that should be the Yankees' biggest concern when it comes to Tarik Skubal. They have a fantastic pitching staff. He's probably not their biggest need. They should, spend that prospect capital on getting a Mason Miller or someone to sort of shore up the bullpen, or a catcher who can hit. But you're right. Their biggest concern is that Skubal will go elsewhere. And again, that's thinking like a team that doesn't just want to make the postseason, wants to go far into the postseason. So, yes, I mean, if they could prevent him from going to the Dodgers without having to give up all that prospect capital and end up with embarrassment of riches, some might say, on the pitching staff, they would do that, but they can't. They have to just hope that somebody else beats the Dodgers earlier on in the postseason, I guess.
Well, we don't know for sure that the Yankees aren't in it. I mean, Cashman operates usually pretty far under the radar a lot of time at this time of year, so we'll see. But I think you're right. I think they should be trying to do it, if for no other reason, to keep him from going to the Dodgers, because the Yankees are all about winning championships. I've been saying this for weeks. They should be going all out for Skubal. Look at that rotation. You can start to slide guys back in the bullpen like Weathers. Even Rodon, he wouldn't be too happy about it, but imagine him being used out of the bullpen. You can really do a lot of things if you have Skubal in that rotation. So they should be. If you got to give up Lombard, give up Lombard. Go ahead and do it. You got to try and win a championship this year.
I mean, he's the biggest impact player on the deadline. That's what we're talking about. I understand that it's a strength. Well, then hammer a strength, because how are you getting that much better to close the gap with the Dodgers? Let alone now the Yankees like, nah, we're going to be good, and then the Dodgers are going to get him and widen the gap. Speaking of widening the gap between good teams, bad teams, hey, let's make the call to the bullpen. Go out to Citi Field to welcome in Chelsea Janes out there with the Mets. Chelsea, how does the Skubal market impact the Mets?
From my perspective, it obviously doesn't impact them in terms of their participation in it, unfortunately, for Mets fans, at least not until the offseason. But imminently, I wonder if it holds things up a little bit, right? If you're a team like the Brewers or the Rays, the Dodgers even, and you're playing for Skubal, do you wait for him? Do you wait to see how that sorts out before you pursue, say, a second choice like Clay Holmes, a second choice like Freddie Peralta? Maybe. I don't know that for sure. I think it's more likely to hold up Holmes than it is Peralta. I think he's in a slightly different tier. But when you're talking about short-term rentals, ace-type, proven playoff pitchers, there's not a whole lot of them. And one of the others is Holmes, which means if you're in the Skubal market, he's probably a backup plan, which means you got to wait for Skubal before you decide on Holmes.
And then the other one will be Freddie Peralta. What's the latest that you're hearing as far as the Peralta market, Chelsea?
The first thing we heard from Andy Green is that they plan to have Freddie Peralta start tomorrow. So that is interesting to me. I thought there would probably a scenario in which they held him back to avoid injury, held him back because of all that's going on. As of right now, at least they say they're not going to do that. He did go out and throw today, which, keeps him available for tomorrow. So we'll see. As last I heard, the asking price was really, really high on him. There's a lot of teams involved, from what I can tell. A lot of teams that think they can fix him, adjust the arm angle, get him back to where he was. So for now, I continue to hear the price is really high. But as soon as that comes down, which could be any time, I would expect that market to move. And obviously, I think we expect him to go.
Do you have any idea, Chelsea, because it just makes no sense to me, what the thought process would be? Like, his value is what it is at this point. Why would you risk it knowing that it's just one more start ahead of the deadline? Why in the world would they even say that he's going to pitch tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I know that there's, if you're Freddie Peralta, you probably don't want to waste bullets here. You're going to go somewhere else, try to prove your worth. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it's kind of a little bit of a deadline in some ways, and deadlines sometimes make things happen. But I was a little confused by it too, and I guess we'll kind of see how this shakes out. Again, I think them saying he's going to pitch is different than him taking them out at 7:10 tomorrow. But as of now, that's what they're saying they're doing.